The premise of advancing relationship-based cultures is simple. Given that relationships permeate every atom of healthcare, it follows quite naturally that everything in healthcare will work better when relationships are healthy. Medical miracles, alleviated suffering, and enhanced comfort all take place between human beings. They take place when human beings who are suffering enter the sphere of a group of human beings who are as committed to caring for them as whole, complex people as they are committed to applying their technical skill and knowledge to the healing of their physical ailments. All of the technical aspects of healthcare occur in the context of human relationships, which means that all of the technical tasks underlying the provision of care work better when we tend to relationships. Discernment and decisions, in the face of complexity and uncertainty, improve when professionals collaborate. Just as jets crash when cockpit teams lack the interpersonal trust to speak up, patients die when healthcare team members don't feel the psychological safety and interpersonal trust to speak up. The inseparability of tasks and processes from people begins to answer the question of why we chose the term relationship-based culture. Although we recognize that care, safety, quality, and financial health emerge from tasks and relationships, we also know that healthcare is currently tilted toward an emphasis on tasks at the expense of relationships. Our intent is to restore the balance. The key is to be relationship-based while process-focused. The impact of healthy relationships. It is easy to make the case for the importance of healthy relationships in healthcare. What has traditionally been much harder is to delve deeply into the how-to. How are healthy relationships formed? What seems always to be present when relationships are healthy and productive? What is missing when relationships are troubled or fractured? A theme that will permeate this book is healthy relationships are formed when people consistently attune to one another, wonder with and about one another, follow the cues provided by one another, and hold one another with respect and dignity. The book See Me as a Person, Creating Therapeutic Relationships with Patients and Their Families by Mary Koloroutis and Michael Trout explains how clinicians can create therapeutic relationships with patients and families using the therapeutic practices of attuning, wondering, following, and holding. Advancing relationship-based cultures is, in part, about the application of those same practices to all relationships at all levels and in all disciplines in order to improve every relationship in an organization. Note also that we use the term advancing rather than creating in the title of this book. We know that you are not creating relationship-based cultures from scratch because healthy, productive relationships are already a part of your care, teamwork, leadership, and your culture as a whole. In fact, we are certain that they are part of it because the 4 therapeutic practices, which we will refer to as relational practices when used outside of the therapeutic relationship, were discovered through an analysis of healthy relationships in healthcare settings. In other words, through an analysis of the best moments of people like you in organizations much like your own. You and everyone in your organization attune, wonder, follow, and hold in your best moments. One of the aims of this book is to help make the 4 relational practices the norm for each person in your organization.